Yo, what's up, boys? We're here with another Rogue Guide. This one in particular is going to be Rogue Mage. I'm going to be going through all the twos comps, so let me know down in the comments which one you would like to see next, and make sure to subscribe to check it out when it drops. How this is going to roll is we're going to roll through the video so you can get exposed to it. Then we're going to rewind, and then we're going to deep dive into it. We'll talk about everything so you can really deep and digest it and understand what's going on instead of just watching it one time speed like, bro, what's going on? I can't even consume it, right? So let's jump in it. Here we go. First match. It is on Blade's Edge Arena. So we're going to let this play. It's going to be a warrior priest, Torn Warrior, Undead Priest. All right, there we go. Nice little sap here. A little cheap, okay. Trinket on that delay, but hit the kidney. Locked him. Scared it for some bleeds. There's a sheep. Okay. There's a silence. Didn't even have to use blind. Style RP. Okay, let's get it, baby. All right, so let's go back and now let's deep dive in it. First off, what you want to do is you want to make sure you repair your items so you don't go into arena with a red sword. Don't be that guy. I've been that guy. And now it's going to be Warrior Priest. So it's Tauren and Undead. The races actually have a big player in these. Sometimes when it's a dwarf, you can't really go him. In this matchup, we want to particularly stay on the Warrior and just CC because the Warrior is going to take a lot more damage and we can hard lock the Priest down. You can also go Priest because, again, you can root the Warrior, right? Mages have amazing capabilities for being able to kite, but the only challenge that you're going to have then is you're going to have to line your stuns up so the Priest can't dispel the Novas or the Sheeps, but it's kind of like a double-edged sword in your favor where it's harder to set up, but one little stun can apply a lot more pressure. Because if you stun and line up the sheep into a stun, he's like, oh, snap. Like, my warrior can't do anything. And if he does trinket, he's going to eat a full blind. So it forces an extra pressure to get a trinket out early. So it can add up in your favor going priest. But in this one, I particularly like to go warrior, especially when I'm with my mage and how our synergy is built. So right now I'm approaching. They don't have, since it's a horde, they don't have perception. I can kind of get cozy. They don't have anything too crazy to get you out. Warriors are usually in battle stance, so you don't want to sap the warrior and trying to like get yourself in position to sap the priest. Just skip that. And what you want to do is you want to keep your eye on the warrior and make sure that when you're lining up the sap, that they're kind of crossing in the similar paths of one another. So make sure you're not sapping the priest while your warrior is maybe halfway up the ramp. So then he just runs up the ramp and then, you know, he just outlasts the full sap on the priest. Because the main focus here is to get the sap and maximize the amount of seconds of that sap while opening on the warrior. So sap immediately open on warrior is the most ideal. So just look at the warrior's position, look at the priest, and kind of look for that moment. My mage doesn't go invis here. He just kind of goes up on top because it's interesting how they took the bottom so quickly. Sometimes they'll do this. Other times they'll just go aggro. Your mage can definitely go invis to give you that extra cushion where you can get, just be a little bit more patient and make sure you get that right setup. And then again, you don't, and I would recommend not to use sprint in the beginning. You want to, if you can, save the sprint. So have the mage use his invis before you use your sprint. And if invis runs out and you still can't, have the mage run out of line of sight or have him position himself where he can kind of pinch the warrior and the priest together, because it's not just your position, it's the mage position, because where the mage is going to be, he's also going to influence where the warrior and the priest is going to be. And that can help align them together for you to get the sap off and then set up that opener. So ideally, you want to get the sap where the warrior is near, where you can sap and shadow step over. So here we go. I see the warrior here. I now take a look at my mage at the top. So because the mage is at the top, now look what we've done. The priest is on the bottom middle pillar, right? The warrior's in the right corner. But now what's happened is because my mage is on the top, he has nowhere to go. The warrior is now stuck in the right corner of this map, and we've now boxed him in. So this is really, really great for us because now we're getting him exactly where we want him, out in the open. He's not near his priest, and where I can sap the priest and shadow step and get on the warrior immediately. So look, I go for the sap, boom, there's a shadow step cheap shot, and now we're gonna be going. Don't put your combo points into exposed armor on the warrior. You wanna make sure you're connecting with the kidney. Sometimes when it comes to warriors, I leave a brief millisecond to see where their skill is at. Some people want to trinket super fast once they see the kidney, and sometimes they even trinket too fast where they anticipate it, so they really want to get it off, and it worked out in my favor. So here he actually trinkets cheap shot, but I was going to wait a second and then get it. So he was antsy on this trinket, which played out huge for us because he essentially just trinketed into a full stun. So now look at the priest. Priest is about to get off. Warrior is now stunned. There's going to be the full sheep. I'm now going. Now look at this move. You're probably thinking, Shobek, why are you getting off? I'm getting off the warrior because I know him at 35% health with a bleed on, with a Garrote, and I believe there's a rupture behind this, behind the character frame. And this is a DR sheep because I sapped. Sap and sheep share the same DR. I know this priest wants to trinket, paints up the warrior. I know this. So what I'm doing is I'm stepping off of the warrior to get into blind range. So now if he trinkets, I can immediately blind. And the mage is going to be the real gas in this combo. His shatters are going to do way far more damage than I can do. And with that burst, I'm now going to essentially babysit the priest. So now we're going to see is I'm now in range. And see how I kind of swabble? Like, look at me. I'm now in the center. And I can now blind. My mage is now going in. The sheep is about to run off. 32% damage. Time is ticking. I'm one step ahead, and I've now trapped again. Warrior's trapped, and now the priest is trapped. This is exactly what you want to do as rogue mage. You want to trap your opponents like this. The priest, he knows what's going to happen. If he trinkets, immediately a blind. Warrior is getting super low. The time is of the essence right now, and they're under pressure, and we just have such powerful cooldowns in order to stop them if they just want to react. So now what's going to happen is he doesn't trinket. Look at the ice lance at the Nova, 32 to 16%, right? Mage is the pumper with 1 second. Now we're going to call the strat where I want him to CC, and then I'm going to go help, and then afterwards I'll blind, which he will then trinket. And if the warrior magically survives here, I will then vanish into a cheap shot on the priest. So here we go. I'm back on. There's the MCS, and the warrior's now dead. So I'll play it back too with the comps so you can kind of get an understanding of how it flows. And just a heads up too, when you're doing arena with your partners, make sure it's best practice to, if you want to connect the CC, so say for example, I do a cheap shot on a warrior. Once you hit the cheap shot, say I'm connecting at the beginning. It's a really, and I'm a victim of this habit too, but I'm wanting to tell you guys this because this is a habit that will save you so much from overlapping. It will save you so many times and so many mistakes. Call what you're going to do, the CC or the stun, ahead of time at the beginning, not halfway through. So at the beginning of the cheap shot, I'm kidneying out of this. Can you blind? Or at the beginning of the sheep, CC out. Or at the beginning of the sheep, I'm going to blind out of this. So your partner has a heads up. And then also too, you're putting it on the front of your brain. So it's like you're helping your teammate out and you're helping yourself out. So it's a really, really win-win. So we're going to back it up and you're just going to hear the comms here. Now, go now. You're going to have to resheep. You're going to have to resheep.
Yeah, I will.
Kitty trinket.
Big damage though. Sheepin.
He's going to do this? I'm edging.
So right there, I said I'm edging. That I just was too in the moment because I saw the beautiful play. But you saw the communication there, right? It was perfect. I gave him a heads up notice. He gave me the clarity that he could do it, that he was able to secure it. MCS him. See right there, that was the bad gaming etiquette right there. I spoke saying like, hey, I'm edging. He knew what I was going to do. Which was great because we were both on the same page because we played a lot. Like he knew what exactly I wanted to do. But as you can see at the end, when you're calling that out, how like there's not that much time. So it's always really good, again, to call that out in the beginning of the match or in the beginning of the stun, because that's going to allow you to get a lot of cleaner setup and no more like overlapping or just avoiding any sort of mistakes. So clean with it, definitely. There's the RP style. Loved it. So Guys, that's going to be it for today's Rogue Mage guide. Again, if you liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments what comps you would like to see next. I'm going to be doing 3s. I'm going to be doing 2s, RLP, RMP, Thug, Hunter Rogue, Priest Rogue, Druid Rogue, Warlock Rogue. So let me know down in the comments what comps you like to play and what you'd like to see. And again, guys, I'll see you all in the next one. All right? Peace out now.